Anna.
Mayor Pete completely dismantles the question on late-term abortions live on Fox News. And notice how quickly the host changes the subject at the end.
And I guess the question is, do you believe at any point in pregnancy, whether it's at 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 24 weeks or whenever, that there should be any limit on a woman's right to have an abortion?
You know, I think the dialogue has got so caught up on where you draw the line that we've gotten away from the fundamental question of who gets to draw the line. And I trust women to draw the line when it's their own life.
So just to be clear, you're saying that you would be okay with a woman well into the third trimester deciding to abort her pregnancy?
Look, these hypotheticals are usually set up in order to provoke a strong emotional...
In fairness,
all right, so
it's not hypothetical. There's 6,000 women a year who get abortions in the third
That's right, representing less than 1% of cases.
I know, but 6,000 pregnancy.
Let's take ourselves in... Yeah. So let's put ourselves in the shoes of a woman in that situation. If it's that late in your pregnancy, that means almost by definition, you've been expecting to carry it to term. We're talking about women who have perhaps chosen a name, women who have purchased a crib, families that then get the most devastating medical news of their lifetime, something about the health or the life of the mother that forces them to make an impossible, unthinkable choice. And the bottom line is, as horrible as that choice is, that woman, that family may seek spiritual guidance, they may seek medical guidance, but that decision's not going to be made any better, medically or morally, because the government is dictating how that decision should be made.
Senators better learn, stop calling that man.
I don't even know why they... Honestly, there are some people y'all just need to stop calling. Buttigieg is just like, why? It's not going to work in your favor, man. It hasn't.
And he just can't. Well, this is for Anna. I'll let Anna.
I'm sorry. You're right. Anna, take it away. This was yours.
Why? Why was this for me?
That's a question, Marlon.
Yeah, she wants to know why it was for her.
Oh, I thought there was more. Sorry. Why was that to you? Because why not? I don't know. I just thought everybody deserved one. I don't know.
Chris Wallace is certainly not like his father. I'm like, they're in the same profession, but it's a difference.
I think Chris Wallace is actually quite good at his job.
Okay.
There's his moments. Absolutely.
He's not my brand of guy, but I mean, of all of the conservative leaning major news pundits, I could watch him. Like,
for Megyn Kelly, sure. Any day, yeah.
Like, okay. Whatever his thing was, his Sunday news thing, I could watch it. I could watch him at the same time that I watch Margaret Brennan and everybody else. I could watch him. But the rest of them...
Yeah, I got into an argument with my cousin about that same point. He was like, no, it's abortion after the child is born. I'm like, no, the child is born. That would be murder if you killed the baby. That's just...
Yeah, by definition.
Like, that's a person. The umbilical cord has been cut. What are you? Well, it's wrong. That's the abortion after the fact. No, abortion is when the child is in the mother, not outside. Oh, people just gotta stop.
I want to show this comment because this is the second time I done heard this. And me personally, I don't know what the argument they making, so I kind of want to look at it as it's just a different argument.
Oh boy.
But it doesn't make any sense to me. Well, DNA of the baby is different than the mama. That the baby is different than the mama.
Okay, interpreter, because I
literally don't understand what the argument is.
Basically, what they're saying is that it is a separate entity from
Okay.
the mother.
Okay.
Because
There's
the
50%
baby
of DNA from the father.
exactly is blended DNA. So this is an individual, a unique individual.
Nobody's
Gotcha.
arguing
And
with that.
huh?
Nobody's arguing with that. Okay.
No, it's not that it's being argued with per se. It's just a matter of
Well,
how it's being
let me push
presented.
back on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are. Now I get what you're saying, but go ahead, Theus.
Because part of the
Okay.
pro-choice argument from some quarters is until that baby is born, it is attached to and a part of the mother and does not have a separate identity because it is literally like an organ within the mother. They don't use that particular version, but I'm saying
Right.
that's where it all lies.
It depends on being fed, it's temperature regulated. It cannot do all the things until it becomes viable.
Right.
Let,
And
let,
see,
let, let,
that's
let me, let
that
me
right
stop
there is a
everybody.
distinction.
Let me stop everybody. Thank you, Theus. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Tracy. I figured out what the argument is, and Susan hit it right on the head. And I don't even know what it is that you said, Theus. You said something, but yeah, it will make the decision belong to the father, period. Remember, the argument has always been it's up to the yeah. Now I know what you said.
But see that right there, that's not enough
50%
either.
mother and 50% father, and we have been arguing if the decision has been up to the mother,
The person carrying the
Right.
child.
The
the
argument
person
is
that's
basically
carrying the
between
baby. But they are saying no, is a different being with 50% of the woman, 50% of the father. So no, it's not up to the woman to make the decision
that's not their
because it
argument.
is not just her anymore.
That's not quite the argument that they're using, though. They're actually, in a way, making a concession to undercut part of the reasoning coming from the left. Right? The left insists that it's the woman's choice. Period. End of discussion. And then it's up to her if she wants to seek counsel from medical, religious, familial, whatever. Right?
Okay.
That is one of the predominant positions on the left.
Mm-hmm.
On the right, they're coming from one of two. One is like the God position where, it's a life and we have to protect life, right? But that one's somewhat easily defeated. But they're also coming from on the side of if this is a separate entity from the mother, and it's just by circumstance because of how biology works that the baby hasn't been physically born yet, then we as a society have a vested interest in each other's general well-being. So they are using that as that other side of the argument. And I think that part of the biggest problem is, for me, and I could be dead wrong here, the argument to me should center on viability over the preponderance of data, because we have a lot of data and a lot of science to give you an idea that based on this particular fetus, if it's viable or not, right? And then you work within certain ranges because you can't be 100% specific in all cases, but you can get pretty close to what level of development that fetus needs to be in to be considered viable. And if we could just focus on that, then perhaps a lot of the other stuff will fall away, but we can't. So now we fight, for example, one of the points, I think you said it was Susan that put it on there, saying it's between the mother and the father. But what if the mother and the father don't agree?
Yeah. What if
To
he
whom
wants?
goes the tie?
Yep. He wants to get rid of the baby. She says, "No, I want to keep it." Is it her right
Or
to
vice
do this?
versa.
Yeah, or vice versa. That's boy.
And
So to
remember the
me,
other
the only
thing
thing
that
you
this
can do
country,
is focus on the scientific argument, which will bring you back to viability.
and remember what this country is trying to push for is, and women are helping with this argument. Some women, not all, because they would call BS, is that men need to be in fuller control of what's going on. So,
don't bring up that blonde. Don't.
Yes, that blonde.
Oh.
I got a video. I'm gonna see if I can find it again. I don't know if I can or not, but there was a guy who was against Marjorie Taylor Greene, fully against her. Hated, I mean, just completely disliked her. Now everybody going, yeah, I understand it's Marjorie Taylor Greene. Duh. What's to like about her? The argument wasn't that Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying the stupidest crap that came out of her mouth. It was the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene was a woman who ran for college and her husband was weak for her allowing her to run for Congress.
Allowing?
Yeah, I heard that minister or preacher or whatever he called himself.
It was somebody that was speaking. I don't know if he was a minister or preacher or not.
He was at the pulpit.
He was at the pulpit. He was at the pulpit.
There's a lot of people get in the pulpit or not. I'm gonna shut up on that one.
I agree with you, Tracy.
That's what I'm saying. He was at the pulpit.
I didn't finish my statement,
but that her husband is weak for allowing her to run.
You mean her soon-to-be ex-husband? Is that why he's?
It's not just about her. It's about women in general, and there are plenty of women who support this, which is basically that you should be under the covering.
Yeah, of a man. I mean, I've heard it my whole life, but
there are women who literally have set their own videos saying that this country is weaker because women vote, and then they go with the
and then they run for Congress, or then they go vote.
No, period. No, period. Women should not be allowed to vote because women vote with emotion.
But Marlon, what do those women do? They go to vote.
But you got to see, it's deeper than that.
Nope,
so on the first level, you'd be like, how are you saying that? It's kind of like people who say that the government is completely broken and there's nothing you can do with it, and yet they want to run for office as an independent.
True.
What? You know what I'm saying? It's a similar thing.
I thought you was going somewhere else. Yes, I thought you was going to sit there and say.
No, I was going towards the standpoint of they run for office to hasten the change that they feel is necessary. So they're willing to sacrifice their own personal objectives to serve the greater good. So they will go and they will become in office so that they can make the votes and they can make the changes that will restore the proper order. And then they will go back to their kitchen and be barefoot and pregnant. But until then, they're willing to stand in the gap to restore order. And that's how they view it.
And to deal with the voting part of it, what you were saying, Tracy, prove it. Because that's what the argument is going to be. That's literally what the argument is going to be.
White woman vote.
We know that. We know that. You know that. Everybody who's watched this show is going to know that. But I guarantee you, they're going to say they didn't vote.
And they're lying when they say it.
And they're lying their butt off.
I mean, because some woman who believes that voted.
They're going to sit there and say, prove it. I didn't vote because it's not my right to vote.
I mean, how far back in the 10th century do they want to go to? Do they want to be property? Do they want to be traded at auctions? Like, what are